12 months ago, the water levels rose across Surrey and Hampshire. Parts of our two counties became unrecognisable as streets and houses were submerged by floodwater. Severe flood warnings were issued day after day for a number of our rivers, including the River Wey, River Mole and the River Thames. The floods left many without power, and gradually people had to start abandoning their homes. Despite the chaos, communities pulled together and helped each other out. Many 24-hour flood centres were set up to provide a place of information and shelter for those who were left homeless. Volunteer groups like the Sunbury and Egham Volunteers were also there to help those who were left stranded by the water. And tragically, at the centre of all this, 7-year-old Zane Bambola was killed when the floodwaters rose in Chertsey. A post-mortem has proved inconclusive. However, his parents, Nicole and Kai, believe he died from hydrogen cyanide from a nearby landfill site. It has been previously suggested he died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Tests have now been done on the lake adjacent to Zane's home, and now his parents are awaiting the results from the coroner. Tens of thousands of sandbags were handed out to residents as over 1,000 were flooded and hundreds had to be evacuated. Authorities say it was the wettest year on record and worked around the clock to help those affected. Now, 1 year on, and some people are still feeling the effects of the floods. People like 77-year-old Delia Langdon from Shepperton. Her home was submerged by the water last year, and over a year on, she's still not able to move back in.
I was stranded, I had to be helped out and all the rest of it. You know, it's very traumatic, all of this, and I think as you get older, you know, it's harder to cope with.
How high up was the water, if you could kind of
The water came up, I think, my floor level was 3 foot because I was on piers anyway, and then it went up another 2 feet inside.
Well, authorities like the Environment Agency say they're more prepared this time round if the same thing was to happen again. Here's Ian Molesley from the EA.
We obviously can't prevent flooding in the future, but what we have been able to do through last summer, using funds we got from the government, is you do about 145 million pounds of work to repair and restore our flood defences across the country. Specifically in Surrey, we've been able to spend £1 million worth of time on the River Wey, clearing blockages, primarily trees and vegetation that fell in 2 winters' worth of storms in the catchment, just to basically make sure the water can flow out as best it can before it starts coming out of banks and affecting property.
It was obviously an extraordinary period for people in Surrey and Hampshire, but now with specific flood groups set up and money being invested into dredging our rivers, we're more prepared than ever before if the water levels were to rise again.